everybody, I hope you're all awesome. We have the VS Audio Platinum on the bench today, which is basically a Marshall Silver Jubilee in a box. There's a lot of Marshall in a box pedals out there, but they tend to focus on Plexi or JCM 800 2203 style tones. So it's kind of cool to see the Jube get some love in this format. Pretty straightforward layout. You can see the top left, you've got a gain control. There is an output control in the top right, then 3-band EQ, bass, middle, and treble. This is an accurate recreation of the actual tone stack in the real amplifier. Then you've got a two-way presence switch. 2-foot switches, one to engage the effect and one to toggle between the lead and the rhythm channel. When I think of the Silver Jubilee, I think of players like Slash, Alex Lifeson, and Joe Bonamassa. So I'm going to start off with my Les Paul. I am using this as a preamp. You can use it as an overdrive in front of a clean amp, but I really want to hear this straight into a power amp, so I'm using my Synergy 5050 power amp and my usual greenback loaded 4x12 Marshall, mic'd with an SM57 off axis. I've done a little bit of post EQ to take out some of the sizzle on the 57, and there's a little bit of Sound Toys little plate added on there. For now, we might add some other effects in a little bit, but let's just hear this straight up. I have got the EQ all at noon, which the manual actually recommends you do. The EQ is pretty sensitive, in particular that middle control on there, and I've got the gain at around 9 o'clock. The first thing, I want you to hear the difference between these settings and the lead channel, and then these settings with the presence switch from the left to the right. That's changing the amount of negative feedback in there. Let's go. Okay, so I've got a little bit of crunch happening there on the sort of normal mode, and then I am getting a nice gain boost in there. It's not a super searing, aggressive gain boost. It's just a little bit more of what's already in there. I want to just bring the gain up a little bit over here and then play around with the EQ. Like I said, the EQ is pretty sensitive and pretty powerful. We'll start off with the mid-range control because you can kind of use this as like the voicing control on here. If you find the tone that you've got is a little bit too kind of honky sounding, just back that off a little bit and vice versa. So let's check that out. Like I said, pretty powerful in there. You really have a lot of headroom on that control. Anywhere from about kind of 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock is pretty usable with this setup. I'm just gonna play around with the bass and treble control now. What I like is you can pull the bass control right out and it is not too thin. And similarly, you can boost it and it's not super boomy. It's quite musically voiced. where the 3-band EQ gives you a pretty wide range of available tones on there, even with the 3-band EQ and the gain all the way up on either channel. It's still pretty articulate, it's still crunchy, it still feels really good under the fingers. They've definitely captured the right feel when it comes to a Marshall in a box pedal like this. So I'll jump on the Strat now and we'll try some kind of chimier, cleaner, glassier tones on here. I think overall I definitely prefer this presence switch to the right. It just gives you that extra little bit of kind of brightness and clarity on there. Let's just start with everything at noon and we'll see where we end up. Also, I like that, you know, backing off the bass and turning up the mid-range and then turning up the bass and backing off the mid-range kind of gives you wildly different results. Anyway, let's hear it on the neck pickup of my old Strat. There's a few things of note that I really like about this. As I mentioned earlier, it's not just trying to be a Plexi or a 2203 style circuit in a box. It's going for something that is probably underrepresented in pedal format in the Silver Jubilee. The second thing is I like you've got everything from kind of chimey stuff through to full-on crunch in there. The ability to play with the presence control and kind of tailor it to your situation. In this case, using it as a preamp works really, really well. And on that note of using it as a preamp, this works as good as anything else I've tried for a Marshall in a box style thing. Two of my other favorites are the Suckerless Room 40, also coming out of Greece, and the Origin Effects Revival Drive. I think this belongs in the conversation. Again, it's not like a classic Plexi or a 2203 thing, so if you like the Silver Jubilee thing, you want something that's still identifiably Marshall, but you want a different character. You want more of that, let's say, late 80s, early 90s thing out of it, where you can both do the really kind of smooth, creamy tones. I mean, you heard how nice and smooth I could get a lead tone on the Strat, or in that kind of chimey zone with some pitch detune like we heard there, or for just kind of rock and roll crunch with a Les Paul. This is voiced really, really well. It's one of those pedals where it's kind of hard to get a bad tone out of it. So if you want to learn more, I'll put a link in the video description. Thank you to VS Audio for sending this pedal out to me to demo. Go and check out the rest of their stuff. I've demoed some of their other pedals in the past as well. And I say this on every pedal video that I do coming from VS Audio or Crazy Tube Circuits or Suckerless. There is something in the water over in Greece. They are building some of the very best pedals in the world right now. They should be on your radar. If you like what I'm doing as well, links in the video description to support what I do, whether it's Patreon or my music, or you want to get some free stuff or join the Discord. Till next time, I feel like I should bust out some more Rush riffs for you. So have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.